The next question comes from my friend Anna, based over in Serbia. Anna and I have worked together for a long time. While I was in Dubai, she flew out to come and do a retreat with us. We have worked together for a long time on a lot of projects, and I'm hoping to go to Anna's wedding in Serbia in May, but this coronavirus thing is putting that at risk, so I don't know what's going to happen with that. But here's Anna's question, all the way from Belgrade in Serbia.
Hi, Anna's here from Serbia. First of all, I would like to wish you a very happy birthday, Sky. So my question would be, what was the biggest challenge for you after you decided to leave 9-to-5 job?
Well, thank you firstly for the birthday wishes, Anna. And the question is one that was actually asked by my other friend, Mr. C. Knowles on Instagram. Knowles like Beyonce. I'm sure he's sick of hearing that. But his question was, what was the hardest thing you had to unlearn when taking a fresh direction? And it's actually the same as, what was the hardest thing when I quit 9-to-5? That was the biggest shift in direction in my life, probably. So to answer both of those questions, the hardest thing for me was trying not to take my foot off the gas. So I'd left 9-to-5. The motivation wasn't about me being pulled towards something exciting at that point, because I didn't know what I was going to do with my life still, even though I was 32 at that point. What happened was I was actually moving away from something that I hated, which was, that corporate career and having to be a wage slave. So once I got my freedom, I had all day to pretty much do what I want. And I was doing freelancing and marketing consulting, and not all of my projects excited me. It was much more appealing for me just to read or do another course or work on my passion project, which I loved, but it didn't bring me any money, right? So I just had to remember that there's no paycheck coming. There's no company that's going to bail me out and send me a couple of £1,000s, every 4 weeks. So the thing that I did at that point was I had a white wall, which is, those walls you can write on with the marker. That was in my office at home. And I put my goal on the wall. I put the number, and every day at the end of the day, I'd go in there and write the new number. If you've seen the movie The Big Short, where Michael Burry, he comes out of his office in his shorts with the drums playing loud, and he writes the value of the hedge fund on the wall. It was exactly like that. My numbers were just pitiful in comparison, but that kept me focused on my goal. So the hardest thing for me was not giving in to the thing that I wanted to do and actually focusing on the thing that I had to do just to keep the money coming in, to maintain that freedom that I'd just got. And it was hard because at that point in my life, I was just done. I was so tired of everything, exhausted. And one phase of my life was closing and the next phase hadn't opened yet. So I felt like I was in limbo. I couldn't move towards, traveling and starting that digital nomad life because I had the commitments of my old life that I had to, unwind. I had to sell my house. I had to work my notice in my job. So being in that middle period was the first challenge. And then once I did get my freedom, but I hadn't sold my house and I couldn't leave the country, just, keeping all of that stuff going and bringing it to closure whilst making sure that I was, paying my bills and making sure I had enough money coming in. That was definitely the hardest thing about that time of my life.